To cure it all, you've got to kill it all. Introducing Lotramin AF spray and powder. Full persistent medicine that kills all causes of athlete's foot. New forms, same killer results. Lotramin AF, the killer cure.
I know if you really care about somebody, nothing else should matter. But it does.
Sometimes getting close to him is all I think about.
I expect her to sweat if she's running a marathon, but not when we're close to each other.
Well, you just can't get close to a guy if he smells.
Get a little closer with Arid Double X, the anti-odor antiperspirant. Arid Double X helps keep you extra, extra dry.
I trust Arid.
6261 for Steffi Graf. A little over an hour and 2 weekends hence. We of NBC will be in Indianapolis along with Pete Sampras, Jim Courier, Goran Ivanisevic for the U.S. Men's Hardcourt Championships. Tracy, the women go to L.A. this coming week and then to Montreal, Schenectady, and New Haven. U.S. Open coming up. Who's going to win it?
3 weeks away. Now, after seeing this match today, I go back with a favorite, Steffi Graf. She played incredibly well. Just in time for the U.S. Open to get her confidence back. Arantxa Sanchez is going to have her work cut out for her.
All right. That's it. Thank you, Tracy Austin. Stay tuned for the World Basketball Championships. U.S. Dream Team 2. I'm Bud Collins with Tracy Austin. It's all on NBC.
Tonight, Sequest begins its 2 greatest adventures. First, mermaids.
What are we going to see?
And a madman.
This is the new world. Oh, God.
Guest starring Charlton Heston. And next Sunday,
We are not alone.
alien intruders invade the Sequest. Nominated for 3 Emmy Awards. Sequest, NBC Tonight.
In here. Quiet.
Can the dead haunt us? Is there a spirit world?
Look! Wow. 1874. This place is creepy.
What's the matter? Scared of ghosts?
Let's get out of here.
This informative booklet, The Spirit World, tells us what the Bible says about astrology, seances, and reincarnation, as well as spiritual answers to the questions of life. Request your free copy today and receive a free year's subscription to the Plain Truth magazine, which explains how the Bible applies to our modern world. For the free literature, call toll-free 1-800-220-0099 today. That's 1-800-220-0099.
A sneak peek at Crater Lake Lodge, Monday at 6:30.
In 1992, basketball history changed forever. The United States Dream Team formed with the specific aim of recapturing the Olympic gold medal. Easily achieved that goal. In the process, a new standard of American basketball domination was set. Now, 2 years later, that legacy has spawned another, younger collection of NBA elite focused on reclaiming the World Championship, fully aware of their legendary predecessors.
I think Dream Team 1 did a great job of setting a standard, and now that Dream Team 2 has an opportunity, we certainly want to carry the torch.
There will never be another Dream Team 1, but we're trying to carve our own niche. And we're trying to have some of the same accomplishments as Dream Team 1.
Today, Dream Team 2 takes another step on the path to creating its own legacy as the United States faces Brazil in first-round play of the World Championship of Basketball.
This is Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, located 45 miles west of Toronto, and we're at the Coliseum, the site of early round action of the World Championship of Basketball. The 16 teams are broken down into 4 groups. The top 2 teams in each group will advance to the quarterfinals. The United States has won its first 2 games. Victories over Spain and China. Brazil, disappointing 0-2. In Pool B, Croatia, led by Toni Kukoc and Dino Radja, off to a 3-0 start. In Pool C, Russia, with a win over Canada last night, is now 3-0. In Pool D, earlier today, Puerto Rico defeated Greece, and they are both 2 up and 1 down. And that is the breakdown as we head to the quarterfinal round. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with Matt Gukas and Matt. And I'm talking to various members of the United States squad. You get the idea that they feel they are chasing the ghosts of Dream Team 1. They look at it as a no-win situation. If the games are close, they're criticized. If they blow teams out, they're criticized. But Coach Don Nelson would obviously prefer winning in decisive fashion. We asked him if he feels sympathy for opponents during lopsided victories, as was the case Friday night against China.
Pete Newell told me going into this thing, he said that not to feel sorry for our opposition, that they expect that we're going to beat them and beat them handily, and we should oblige them. They have more respect for us, really, if we beat them soundly than if it's a close game.
Well, Don Nelson can't be too worried about the other countries in this tournament. I'm sure he is much more concerned with getting enough minutes for his own players. Now, Nelly naturally has had a lot of good things to say about all the Dream Teamers, but the guy that he has been most impressed with is Shaquille O'Neal because of his attitude, his feel for the game, and his leadership qualities. Now, Shaq has only been playing 17 minutes a game, but when he's been on the floor, it has been sheer brilliance, bad back and all.
Although Shaquille will be coming off the bench, we'll see much action today, but Don Nelson has revamped his starting lineup. Alonzo Mourning will be the starter at center. Now, that for Brazil has been a difficult time. They have not played well. They've lost to Spain. They've lost to China, and they know they will have an impossible task this afternoon.
And they are looking square in the eyes of loss number 3. But Brazil has been very competitive in international basketball over the last 35 years, but they're in the transition period. Only 5 players remain from their 92 Olympic team. And the rebuilding process has been very, very painful. And facing the USA today, Marv, will not ease that pain at all.
And as you know, when there is an event with international flavor, who better to cover the sideline than the Dean of Sideline Reporting? Let's check in with Ahmad Rashad.
Thank you very much, Marv. Now, when you put a team together like Dream Team 2, you want to know who has been the most impressive pro. Well, I talked to Sean Kemp, and he told me that it is Joe Dumars, not only because of his superb play, but also because of his attitude, the way he comes to the game. Sean tells me that he is the consummate pro, and he is also the envy of all the players on Dream Team 2 because he's the only one with not 1 but 2 NBA championship rings. Now, Marv, I must tell you how excited I am to be here with you in this international competition because, as you know, international basketball is something that I do best, and I am very well versed in Portuguese, so if you need me during the course of the game to maybe do something with the Brazilian team, I will be right down here, all right? Marv.
Well, Ahmad, it's nice to know that we have finally located your area of expertise. Now, look at the traditional exchange of gifts between the two teams. The United States, as we mentioned, shuffling its lineup today. When we come back, a rundown of the starting lineups.
The 1994 World Championship of Basketball is brought to you by Kraft Singles. Milk makes them taste great. By Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. By AT&T, we help put your world within reach. And by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold.
There's a place near you where the mountain climbers never touch the ground, where the bodies are made of iron and the bikes of titanium alloy. It's Performance Bicycle Shop with over 6,000 square feet of high-tech cycling gear. But if you go, bring a stump-jumping spirit and your Visa card. Because at Performance, they take cycling to the extreme, but they don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
There's something happening here. What it is exactly clear. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Get out of the old and get into the cold.
So, did you hear about the big AT&T deal? Well, if you spend $25 a month on AT&T long distance, you can get AT&T True USA savings. 20% off your calls to anyone, anywhere in the USA. And if that wasn't big enough, AT&T True Rewards, with points good for free frequent flyer miles and free AT&T minutes. You won't get this big deal from MCI or Sprint, but to get it, you gotta call AT&T.
You're true boy.
5 ounces of milk make every 3/4 ounce Kraft single taste better. How do they do that?
What? Every year, the Big Dipper pours milk all over the moon, because the moon's made of cheese. There's an astronaut scoop up the single.
More milk means better taste. And every 3/4 ounce Kraft single is made from 5 ounces of milk.
Melted moon.
Unlike imitation cheese made mostly with oil and water.
Pardon me?
Milk makes Kraft singles taste better.
K-R-A-F-T, they're up there.
Today's starting lineups brought to you by Kraft, proud supporter of USA Basketball.
United States coach Don Nelson making changes with the starting lineup. He goes with Mark Price and Dan Marley in the backcourt this afternoon. And up front, a new look, Alonzo Mourning, Dominique Wilkins, who did not get the playing time in that opening game against Spain, and Larry Johnson, another player who has not received much playing time. Don Nelson, a veteran of 32 seasons in the NBA, as player, head coach, general manager, currently coach and GM of the Golden State Warriors. A look at Brazil in the backcourt. A veteran of national play, Maury de Sousa, along with Paulo Villa-Boas, who had 26 points against China. High score for Brazil in both games. And the front line, Josué dos Santos, João Viana, man they call Mr. Popcorn, Matt. Wanted to point that out. Mr. Popcorn. And Fernando Manucci. Enyo Vec in his first year as the Brazilian national team coach. The officials, Carl Ungerbrunn of Finland, Peter George of Germany, and Mark Price of the United States controlling on the opening tip. Alonzo Mourning with the jump hook and a 2-0 United States lead. This is De Sousa being guarded by Price. We are just underway in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Maury de Sousa, at 32, Brazil's oldest player. That's Viana. And back up the United States. Larry Johnson with the spin on Viana. The U.S. with a 4-0 lead.
Well, every opportunity that the USA gets, they want to go inside as quickly as possible to their big men. In this case, the teammates Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson, both getting the USA off to a nice 4-0 lead.
De Sousa picked up by Marley. Thursday night, Brazil lost to China in a surprise. That's a three-pointer for Villa-Boas. He has a good medium-range touch. And again, it's Larry Johnson. 6-3, the U.S. with the lead.
Another big advantage for USA. Both Mark Price and Kevin Johnson have the ability to go by anybody in this tournament, get into the lane, either create for themselves or a teammate.
Josué dos Santos, the 6'10" center for Brazil, cuts it to a 1-point lead. And the rebound is handled by Viana. I mentioned that loss to China in overtime Thursday night, and Brazil had defeated China in the Goodwill games, 101-52. De Sousa blocked by Mourning. And then Friday night, Spain knocked off Brazil by 6 points. Price. And Brazil has a 3-on-2. Villa-Boas on the recovery. Good hustle by Manucci. Nice pass. And yes, Brazil has taken a 7-6 lead.
Well, everybody on the USA thought that Alonzo Mourning had that rebound, took off because they want to run at every opportunity, but they forgot to get the basketball first.
And Villa-Boas was called for a technical foul. Some of the notable rule differences as we compare NBA and international play. In the NBA, 4 12-minute quarters, 2 20-minute halves in international competition. We have a 30-second shot clock here under international rules. 5 fouls and you are out. And the three-point shot is from closer in. To be precise, 3 feet 2 inches closer The international three-point line is 20 feet 7 inches, and the NBA 23 feet 9 inches.
And also, you're allowed to touch the ball when it touches the rim or over the rim at either the offensive or defensive end of the floor. And also, alley-oop is not allowed. That's an interesting contrast right there. Nevertheless, you're not allowed to goaltend the ball. You can't touch it on its downward flight.
So the technical on Villalobos for arguing after he was able to convert the score. And a little bit too much to say to the officials. The United States with an 8-7 lead. 3.5 gone by. Tricky pass attempted by D'Souza. Wilkins behind the back. And the foul is called that will send Larry Johnson to the line. Called on Villalobos.
And the crowd is eating it up. Actually, some of those passes actually had to be made this way as Bryce got caught off balance and up in the air. Dominique a little bit out of control as he finds Larry Johnson fouled on the play. At the other end, D'Souza a little bit out of control, had to throw it behind his ear. Can anybody make a normal pass?
Dominique Wilkins in the opening game for the U.S. against Spain on Thursday night saw only 7 minutes of action, which did not please him. We talked about that after the game with Don Nelson, and he said, well, Dominique has not been in proper shape, although he did see more action on Friday night. And he's in the starting lineup here today. Again, the rejection by Mourning. Price leads him 3-on-2 and takes the shoulder from D'Souza. So the foul on Maury D'Souza.
Well, with both Alonzo Mourning and when Shaquille is in the ballgame, that's why the United States wants to pressure as much as possible, force people inside of the big man. Excellent timing on the part of Alonzo Mourning to not only reject, but keep it in play and start the fast break.
United States with the ball, they lead by 1. Here's Wilkins. Rebounded by Wilkins and blocked. Mourning on the foul. Alonzo Mourning of the Charlotte Hornets in the starting lineup. Shaquille O'Neal will come off the bench. Shaq with that 10-for-11 dominating performance on Friday night. 22 points in 18 minutes. You get the idea, Matt, that when Shaquille is on the floor, he can do whatever he wants against this competition.
Well, he takes up so much space. Nobody can get their body on him and push him out. He gets people on his back or on his shoulder. Easy to catch passes or get offensive rebounds.
Larry Johnson not able to hit. Here's Mourning, has the good touch from outside. Alonzo Mourning, who comes off an injury-hit season, although he led the Hornets in scoring, averaging 21 a game. U.S. with a 12-7 advantage. Just underway, 4 minutes gone by. Marv Albert, Matt Gukas, and Ahmad Rashad from Copps Coliseum in Hamilton. Villalobos. Good box out by Mourning, able to keep it alive and then rebound. 4-on-3. Marley to the bucket. Marley with the tip. And the U.S. has a 14-7 lead. 8-0 run by the United States. Dos Santos try to put the move on Mourning and took a push. Timeout is taken. 15-21 remaining in the first half.
The World Championship of Basketball continues next Sunday on NBC.
Oh, hello, Mr. Umatsu. You know, your shipment is ready.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, sir. I just have a question about custom regulations for your country. Do I need an import license, a certificate of origin, 525V, or what?
Hello, how are you?
Fine. Could you hold?
All you got to do
Hello.
to simplify international shipping is use FedEx.
Mr. Umatsu? Yes, sir. I'm fine. We're all fine.
A 3-hour tour.
One minute I'm telling myself to buy the best stuff. Next minute to save money. Buy the best, save money. Buy the best, save money. Save money. Buy the best, save money. Save money. I'm beginning to get on my nerves.
Why compromise when there's the affordable Value Point Performance Series from IBM?
This guy on the plane, he had this button in the middle of his keyboard. This red button. It's like a mouse, but you just touch it. I want one. I want a button.
Introducing the affordable ThinkPad 360 with TrackPoint 2 from IBM.
The Coach's Corner, brought to you by IBM ThinkPad, the official notebook computer of USA Basketball.
Well, the United States will look to release and run on missed jump shot, and in this case, missed drives here by Villalobos. Going in here, you're going to see Dominique start to get out early. You're going to see Dan Marley start to drift out, and Mark Price make himself available. Let's go a little bit ahead here, and also keep an eye on Larry Johnson. Almost breaks up the fast break pair play by going right down the middle of the floor, but good hustle by, let's stop right there and show Mark Price right in the middle of the floor. Dominique Wilkins getting very wide on the break, as well as Marley, to spread the floor and put a lot of pressure on the Brazilian defense to get the driving shot.
And the crowd responds. Shaquille O'Neal has come on for Alonzo Mourning, who was 3 for 3, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocked shots, but picked up 2 personal fouls. 14-7. United States with the lead. Brazil has missed its last 5 shots. Lori D'Souza setting it up against Dan Marley. Goes well, Dos Santos. Now guarded by Shaquille O'Neal. So he's been firing away. He's 3 of 6 from the field. He has 7 of Brazil's 9 points. United States up by 5. They double up on Shaquille. Here's Johnson, rejected from behind. Wilkins off the fake, draws the foul. Hit by Manucci.
Well, Shaq having that big power advantage inside went in, and actually Larry Johnson takes the rebound away as Shaquille puts it up short. Has a very good opportunity to get it back himself, but taken away by Larry Johnson, and then Dominique Wilkins cleaning up on the weak side. Now, the other night against China, the United States really unleashed a lot of pressure after made field goals and after free throws, and China was just unable to get the ball up the floor. So far, Brazil has been very disciplined and had no problems at all getting the ball up the floor and getting into any kind of offense they want. When we watched Brazil before, we couldn't figure out what kind of offense they had. Here's the pressure now by USA.
15-9, United States with the lead. And Fernando Manucci looks to put the move on Dan Marley, had the step. And now Brazil regroups. Brazil has been the perennial champion of South America. They have won 14 titles, including 14, rather 4 of the last 5. Their crowning moment off the steal, Dos Santos. And they keep it alive on the back tap. Viana gets to it. Manucci trying to go glass, rebounded by Johnson. The crowning moment for Brazil, that stunning win over the United States. Manucci on the foul. That of the 1987 Pan American Games in Indianapolis. And Matt, the legendary Oscar Schmidt had 44 points that game to shock the American team. Brazil is out without the services of Oscar, who's 37 years old, the leading scorer of the last 2 Olympics. Price sets it up for Marley, and they swing it back. Here's Price. Yes. And the United States leads 17-9. Oscar Schmidt not added to the national team for the first time since 1977, a move that created a minor controversy in Brazil. But Brazil, a team in transition and looking to go with the younger players. There has been some criticism that Oscar, who has been an offensive force, is not on hand. A feeling that things might be a bit different. Offensive foul, the call. The call on Villalobos. Don Nelson now going with a backcourt of Mark Price and Dan Marley. Has Shaquille O'Neal at center. And Larry Johnson and Dominique Wilkins at the forward position.
Well, this was the first change in the starting lineup that we have seen from Nelly, and it's something that initially he said he was going to do. Then he said he wasn't going to do it. I think his problem right now is deciding who's the last 2 players off the bench are going to be, and he's kind of careful about trying not to hurt people's feelings. Normally, an experienced coach wouldn't worry about that, but in this all-card situation, you try to think of everything.
Price on the quick release. Marley trying to stuff it. Shaquille O'Neal. Number 13, Shaquille O'Neal. United States up by 10. The pull-up by D'Souza. That's a three-pointer for Maury D'Souza. 7-point lead for the U.S. Price tried to split his way through and was tripped up.
You know, of course, Shaquille O'Neal has this advantage in the NBA as well against big and strong competition, but really the Brazilian team, they have some tall fellas there. You see Viana, who can get off his feet and jump very high, but he only weighs about 210 pounds. Just no way he can put a body on Shaquille O'Neal, and you have to do it a lot sooner than before that shot goes up, and Shaq is right under the rim.
Sousa called for the foul. Villalobos, who has 3 fouls, sitting down. Replaced by Rogerio Klapke. Here's Shaquille again. 21-12, the United States. Kept alive by Minucci, who was hacked. So Fernando Minucci will head to the line.
The long jumper by Dan Marley on the left side. Most of those shots are going to go long, and Viana, who is a leaper, some people have compared him to Dennis Rodman. I hope Dennis does not take offense to that, but he is an inside player, can get up very quickly around the basket. He tried to jump for that rebound instead of putting a body on Shaquille O'Neal, but I think even if he tried to put that body on Shaq, it would not have done any good. Shaq would spin off him.
Perhaps it's Viana who would take offense to the comparison. Marley was called for the foul. 7.5 gone by in the first half, 21-14. United States with the lead. Nice lead by Price for Wilkins through the stuff. D'Souza leading the break. 3-on-2. Here's Klopke. That was a three-point attempt. He's able to recover. Rogerio Klopke, the only bench player who saw significant time in the game against Spain the other night. He is a pure shooter. The Brazilian coach is telling us they see him as the eventual replacement for Oscar Schmidt. Wild shot attempted by Dos Santos. Price pushing it down for Shaquille. 6 points for Shaq. He's hit 3 out of 4, and the United States is up 23-14.
I went over to the Brazilian practice yesterday and talked to the coach, Enio Vec, and he said some of the big things that were important for his team against the USA was take care of the basketball. They saw what happened to China the other night. So far, they've done that, but they also said they had to be disciplined at the offensive end. For the most part, they've gotten good shots. That was a terrible shot by Dos Santos before. It turned into the easy one for Shaq at the other end.
Once again, Shaquille has stepped onto the floor, and he's dominating. A beautiful pass from Price. Johnson extends to an 11-point lead for the United States. The next game for the U.S. will be Tuesday night when they shift over to Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. They'll go up against Australia. The tournament continues at Maple Leaf Gardens and then moves to the Sky Dome next Friday, capped off by the championship game next Sunday. We'll have it for you here on NBC Sports. D'Souza trying the three. Again, the United States looks to run. And a traveling violation created by that deflection.
Well, this was after the Dos Santos poor shot, and Shaquille O'Neal running the floor hard right down the middle, makes himself a gigantic target. Very easy for Mark Price to find.
At the time, Muggsy, a man of small stature, was to battle the giant named Goliath. Armed only with an incredible thirst to prove himself, Muggsy, fleet of foot, did circle and confuse Goliath, and thus slew the mighty giant. All the people celebrated. Sprite flowed freely, thus it was written. Height is nothing, thirst is everything. Obey your thirst.
This is an apple. That's an orange. This is round. That's square. Here's my point. MCI keeps advertising.
Cats?
How people get big savings by switching from AT&T.
Dogs?
But did you notice how they're comparing their big discount plans
Apples?
against AT&T rates with no discount?
Oranges?
Come on, why doesn't MCI give you straight, easy-to-compare information?
Well, then they wouldn't have much to talk about.
Your true voice.
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. The cold one. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste,
You know, I've been looking for that.
the world is a very cool place. So get out of the old and get into the cold.
Tonight, Sequest discovers mermaids led by a genius. This is the new world. Water-breathing humans. Charlton Heston guest stars on Sequest NBC tonight.
Ken Stephens and Karch Karai. For all their greatness, the Kings of the Beach have never solved the mystery of Seal Beach. Can they finally break through? The Miller Lite Open, next weekend on NBC.
There has been much discussion following statements by several members of the United States team when they came out and answered the questions and said, well, they would beat Dream Team 1, the team that won the gold at the Barcelona Olympics. Michael Jordan was recently asked about it. He said those guys are on the right team because they are definitely dreaming. Not only was Dream Team 1 better, but we could beat them now. We talked about this with Shaquille O'Neal and asked for his thoughts.
We'd win 4-3.
4-3. Why do you say that?
Because when you get up against a team like that, those guys would probably bring the best out of us guys. And they're older guys, but we're younger. And we have a lot more youth, and we would beat them.
What is your reaction to Michael Jordan saying the reason they call it the Dream Team is because you guys are dreaming?
He's supposed to say that. But Michael, no, I ain't saying that.
Shaq was going to continue with some trash talk at the expense of Michael and then decided, I better not. He had it as a best-of-7 series. You'll know he's ready for the pay-per-view or the possibility of this series going to 7 games, but the feeling is it will never take place.
Well, until the Spain game, there was a lot of talk, and I think a lot of people had the idea that just might get Michael Jordan to think about coming back and playing basketball, but then after the performance against Spain, all that talk died down very quickly.
Well, Rolando Ferrara, who spent some time as a member of the Portland Trailblazers back in the 88-89 season off the bench to hit that jump shot, and the United States now leads 25-16. Dan Marley, master of the three-pointer, that time off the mark. Here comes Minucci, being picked up by Marley. De Sousa with the ball, guarded by Price. Looking for Klafke, who's being guarded closely by Johnson. U.S., as you'll see, 0 for 5 from downtown. Ferrara again. And Richie Miller, who just checked in, able to get to the board. Price for Marley. By Mark Price of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the U.S. is up 27-16.
Well, transition defense is such a difficult thing for any basketball team, but these international teams really struggle in that area, and it's mainly because they don't play against a running team like the United States, who get out and just send waves of people at you. They don't have that ability to stop the ball, but not too many other players do that as well. But the United States just has too much talent and power coming at you.
Herrera's shot not able to go, setting up a 3-on-2. Marley for Price. Look, yes. 29-16, United States.
Right out of the textbook there, 3-on-2, just like you do in practice. You very rarely get that in game. It's usually a 3-on-1, a 2-on-1, something like that. But that was a classic 3-on-2.
Biggest lead of the half for the U.S. Don Nelson about to send on. Sean Kemp, Kevin Johnson. Just under 8 minutes to go in the first half. De Sousa for 3. He has 6 points. Maury De Sousa plays professional basketball in Brazil. Also finishing up dental school and will be a full-fledged dentist in just a couple of months. Price took a shot. He thought he was fouled. No call made. Down to 17 on the 32nd shot. 7:29 remaining. First half. Timeout is taken.
Snow was falling on the ground. What did I do? I went out and shoveled the snow. Made me a path on the basketball court. Had my mittens on. I'm shooting. You know, oh, it's raining outside. Huh? Raining?
Put on a coat.
So what? The door was shut in your face sometimes, but you still keep going. You still keep going.
NBA Hoops basketball cards from Skybox. When you dream it, see it, go after it.
What now?
Who's Etienne?
Who cares? Come on.
Etienne fix everything. Who's Etienne?
Miss Camel Repairman.
What?
He's a mechanic.
You kidding?
Hope he takes Visa. Oh, he does.
Visa Gold can get you cash more places worldwide than any other card, even American Express.
Etienne fix everything.
Visa Gold.
Hey, I'm talking to you. What is technology but the brain demanding more from the body? More than what was done. More than what is thought possible. Put the beyond within reach. Air squared. Strangely scientific.
Next Saturday, NFL football is back on NBC. Don't miss great gridiron action live from Berlin when running back Rodney Hampton and the New York Giants take on Junior Seau and the hard-hitting San Diego Chargers. Great preseason football action heats up next Saturday on NBC.
Watch the Dream Team 2 3-on-2 fast break develop. Mark Price going to get the ball right in the middle of Marley. Price will fill the left wing. Reggie Miller running hard on the right wing. But let's watch it. The poor defense by the Brazilian team. And stop it right here. Look at the two defenders back here. One of those defenders has to come up and stop the ball. But Dan Marley can take it as far as he wants. He's going to take it to the foul line. Look for Mark Price and the wide open jump shot. And Mark Price with 6 points, the high man for the United States. 6 apiece for Price, Johnson, Mourning, and O'Neill. Reggie Miller, Kevin Johnson, Sean Kemp have all checked in. Carlos Donacimento, wearing number 15, has come on for the first time. 6'11", backup center. Setting the screen. United States not giving Klopke any room from outside. And drew the foul. They have shown much respect for the outside touch of that man, number 14, Rogerio Klopke. And Klopke here just whips Reggie Miller to the basket as Reggie unable to move his feet. But Shaquille O'Neal gets caught watching here instead of stepping up to that dotted line area to either take a charge or block the shot. And just the reach in and the foul, the opportunity for the three-point play.
Dan Marley sitting down, replaced by Joe Dumars, who had a good one Friday night against China, a game that actually turned into a scrimmage-like performance. U.S. winning by 55. Dumars 6 for 10, 13 points within 21 minutes. Dumars guarded by D'Souza. And it's off the leg of Klopke. Well, a mini run by Brazil, 5 unanswered points. And the United States is up now 29-21 with 6:45 remaining in the half. Marv Albert, Matt Dukas, and Ahmad Rashad from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Shot clock at 5. Kemp will go to the line. He was hit on the arm. Sean Kemp of the Seattle Supersonics fouled by the one-time Portland Trailblazer, Rolando Ferraro.
First personal. There's Sean Kemp now on the floor, and he has been part of this, what was the designated starting lineup in the first couple of ball games with Reggie Miller, either the small forward or part of the 3 guards to give some perimeter shooting. And Sean Kemp has looked good, very active on the boards, runs very hard, and had a little trouble handling the basketball. But all the U.S. players have been complaining a little bit about the ball. Some say too big, some say too small. They don't like the seams. Shaq liked those scenes all right.
Yes, 8 points for Shaquille O'Neal. United States struggling at the foul line. Only 3 of 8 at the line. Off the steal. Here's Kemp. Sean Kemp going the distance. Whipping by Villalobos. And it's a 33-21 United States lead. Sean looks like he's bulked up a bit. I know he's listed at 245 pounds, but I'm told he's about 260 on a reach-it. Kemp called for his first personal foul.
Well, here off the missed free throw, the United States team running a little crossing action when you have that advantage with the trapezoid lane, as Shaq goes in there and just gets it very easily. And here, Sean Kemp on the steal, and the Rain Man finishes in the open floor with authority. The fans in Seattle have seen plenty of that.
You know, I love when you say trapezoid.
Wide.
Kemp. The handle. Yes, and it counts. The reverse and the foul.
Well, one of the things that people don't really realize about Shaquille, he's so big, everything about him is big. He has excellent hands, very, very soft, can catch it, as Derek Coleman and the rest of the Dream Team bench like those kinds of interior passes between the big men.
Carlos Nascimento called for the foul. Timeout taken with 5:39 remaining. First half.
Score a Dream Team 2 Cup at McDonald's.
When you're supersized. Just 39 cents more for more drink and more fries. Supersize any extra value meal and collect the Dream Team 2 today.
Then look out, world. We're hungry to play.
McDonald's extra value meals are a great way to score. For just $2.99, get any one of these 4. Cheeseburger, McChicken, quarter pounder with cheese, or Big Mac extra value meal, whichever you please.
I want a computer that really flies. I'm not talking Orville and Wilbur stuff. I'm talking where your cheeks are like this.
Introducing the powerful Value Point Performance Series from IBM.
1 minute I'm telling myself to buy the best stuff. Next minute to save money. Buy the best, save money. Buy the best, save money. Save money. Buy the best, save money. Save money. I'm beginning to get on my nerves.
Why compromise when there's the affordable ThinkPad 360 from IBM?
Welcome to the Fleer Ultra Baseball Factory Tour. This year, we're putting gold foil stamping on both sides. Plus, more color-enhanced action on our all-new 3-photo bags. Fasten your seatbelts. There's UV coating on both sides, too. And we're in your face with incredible inserts featuring superstars and hot rookies. There's one insert card in every pack. 94 Fleer Ultra Baseball, better than ever.
In 1992, the Dream Team took the world by storm, capturing the Olympic gold. Now, Dream Team 2 has arrived. Shaquille O'Neal, Alonzo Mourning, Larry Johnson, Dan Marley, Reggie Miller, Kevin Johnson. The greatest names in basketball go for the gold at the World Championship of Basketball next Sunday on NBC.
Ahmad Rashad back in Hamilton, Ontario. Now, you just saw that reverse dunk by Shaquille O'Neal. Here it is. Now, that was very impressive. Now, here's a little something that a lot of you have never seen. Watch Shaquille O'Neal with here first his forward flip in the pool. Now, here comes a back flip by Shaquille O'Neal. 7'1", 300 pounds with the back flip. Now, that is impressive. One must remember, though, in his younger days, he was a world-class break dancer. Marv?
Yes, he does cover every aspect of international basketball. Medine has done it again. Rare footage of Shaquille. Imagine a cannonball effect on a dive by Shaquille O'Neal.
I was kind of wondering what the outlet was for Dream Team 2. If you remember, Dream Team 1 played a lot of golf. Some of the guys got out and played some yesterday, but it has been pretty much all work for these guys, and the training period, of course, has been much shorter, and Don Nelson wanted to make sure these guys are in shape, but you need to have some fun.
That will count. An emphatic rejection by Shaquille O'Neal, and the basket counts. Rolando Ferrara will get credit.
And there's the case of the ball on the way down by Shaquille O'Neal. Remember, you can touch it off the rim. Many of Shaq's blocked shots so far in this series have been kept alive in starting fast breaks, but every once in a while, Shaq likes to be very authoritative and knock him into the stands to get a little rise from the crowd. He knows it's not the best basketball play, but he also knows what he's doing.
Little marketing effect by Shaq. Reggie Miller. And here's Villalobos. He checked back in. He's playing with 3 personal fouls. United States leads by 12, just under 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Minucci guarded by Miller. And the U.S. now with a combination of O'Neal, Kent, Dumars, Johnson, and Miller. Third field goal by Ferrara, who has not been getting the playing time until this afternoon.
Well, because he has that ability to go out 14, 15, 16 feet and shoot that shot, he can kind of pull Shaquille O'Neal away, who does not want to leave that lane area. And that's why Spain was so effective against the USA, because their big men could shoot from about 17, 18 feet.
That's a 3-point attempt by the big man, Carlos Do Nascimento. Kevin Johnson sets up Joe Dumars for 3. And the U.S. now 0 for 8 from downtown territory. Here's Minucci. Back comes the United States. Johnson on the run. For Dumars. Ferrara got a piece of it. Villalobos now operating at the point guard position. This is the Azevedo. Villalobos with the step. Ferrara couldn't handle. And again, the United States looks to run. Kemp behind the back. Kemp to Dumars to O'Neal. 37-25, 12-point lead for the United States. Shaquille O'Neal, 6 of 7, 12 points, 9 rebounds. Ferrara with a nice move. 8 points for the 7-footer Rolando. 12-point U.S. lead with 3 minutes to go in the first half.
Alonzo said, how did he do that? Actually, Shaq didn't even run hard. He just turned one little quick step to get by Ferrara to get that easy one. Every time Brazil misses a shot or turns the ball over, it looks like a running opportunity.
Do Nascimento shaken up. He was tripped up by Kemp.
It looks like Sean Kemp has his head down there, but gets it up just quickly enough to dish it off to Dumars, and a little touch pass right back to Shaquille O'Neal, running the floor very hard. Behind the back, Shaq keeps running. Joe Dumars saw the whole play develop way before he made that pass. And here's Shaquille O'Neal just putting the small afterburner on to go by Ferrara, who just does not have any quickness or speed, and no way can run with Shaquille O'Neal in the open floor.
And Shaquille being checked over at the United States bench. He came into this tournament with a lower back problem. He told us yesterday it is still sore. Trainers Tom Abdenauer and Ron Colts checking him out. Derek Coleman has come on for the first time. And a foul on the inbounds. Looks like Shaquille O'Neal is headed back to the locker room.
Shaq did tell us that it was sore yesterday. It has been very sore, but nothing that's going to keep him out of any game action. Might keep him out a couple of practices. And Tom Abdenauer, one of the trainers, told me today that his back is fine. I think Shaq's a little bit more tired at this point.
Kevin Johnson with the steal. He stripped the Azevedo. And now the United States goes to the trap. We have seen very little of this. They made a terrific run against China at the end of the first half on Friday night, going to the trap for a brief period.
Well, they were really able to get some flurries against China, which turned into very easy baskets. Here, the quick, active hands of Kevin Johnson starts off this fast break. I'm sure Nelly's a little bit upset that the USA has not been putting on more pressure, but this is when they started that flurry the other other night against China as Kevin Johnson unhappy with the call. But for the most part, Marv, the players have not been arguing with the officials, mainly because they don't know what they're saying anyway.
Kevin Johnson called for that foul, his first. Again, pressure defense being shown by the United States. 2.5 to go in this first half, and the U.S. with a 14-point lead. It matches their biggest lead of the game. Nice move by Manucci. Fernando Manucci, at 25 years of age, one of the best players in Brazil, and he's now receiving the playing time with the departure of the legendary Oscar Schmidt. Pretty give and go. Reggie Miller, Derek Coleman. Coleman on the follow for his first basket.
Nice give and go basketball. Everybody looking to make the extra pass right now. We saw an indication of touching the ball off the rim. In the NBA, that would have been called a goaltend on Derek Coleman, but you are allowed to touch the ball over the rim. Reggie Miller on the little draw and kick there. Right back to Reggie. The finger roll, and Derek Coleman just playing tip-tap to himself.
Yes, you can touch the ball on the cylinder of the rim in international play. Just under 2 minutes remaining. First half. The United States with a 14-point lead on Brazil. Miller with the steal. Reggie Miller of the Indiana Pacers going behind the back. Johnson fires it out to Dumas. He tried to go back behind the back. Brazil looking for a tripping foul. Nothing called. And the United States recaptures. Coleman with the room. Here's Coleman for three. Yes. Derek Coleman of the New Jersey Nets with a second field goal. He has 5 points, and that's the first three-pointer of the game for the United States. Missed their previous 8. 46-29. It's the biggest lead of the half as we come up on 1 minute remaining. Ferrara, who has been a surprise, putting the move on Coleman. It counts, and the foul. Portland Trailblazers may be saying, what are we watching here?
Well, he was with him in 88 and 89. He didn't get it in the game against Spain the other night, but he has looked like a very confident basketball player. Normally facing up and shooting. That time he forced that shot and took the bump from Derek Coleman.
At one time, he was thought to be a future star. He is no longer a major player on the national team, although after today, the thinking may change on that. We saw Shaquille O'Neal headed back to the locker room just moments ago. For more on that, here's Ahmad.
All right, thanks a lot, Marv. You guys had it right when you said that Shaquille had been having some back pain all during this series, and he said that his back had tightened up. They took him back to the locker room to stretch it out and try to alleviate some of the pain, and I will keep you updated as to his progress. Marv?
Thank you, Ahmad. Down to 40 seconds remaining of the half. United States 46, Brazil 32. U.S. with a record of 2-0 wins over Spain and China. Brazil a disappointing 0-2. Manucci with 6 points cuts it to a 12-point lead. Kemp, Sean Kemp saving that pass and putting it home. His second field goal, and the U.S. is up 48-34. Now to 10 seconds in the half. Manucci gets the pick. Down to 5 seconds. Manucci checking the clock. Putting the move on Kemp. Manucci goes glass and hits. Beautiful drive by Fernando Manucci. So at the half, Brazil allowed to hang around. It's the United States 48 and Brazil 36. Shaquille O'Neal, the high point man, with 14, although he's bothered by back problems. Rolando Ferreira, one-time Portland Trailblazer, leading the way for Brazil with 11. Coming up next, the McDonald's halftime report with Hannah Storm, talking live with Carl Malone, a member of Dream Team 1, and a behind-the-scenes look at Dream Team 2. We'll be right back.
Excuse me, could you take a picture of us with over there?
If you take off to the Italian town of Todi, but your camera just takes off,
Where'd they go?
you better have Visa Gold, because there's not a camera store there that takes American Express.
There's a great shot.
Visa Gold, it's everywhere you want to be.
It's bold. It's big and juicy. Zestier, juicier, and beefier kinds of dogs. Bursting with flavor.
What a hot dog.
Big and juicy hot dogs from Oscar Mayer. We're talking taste. Big time.
Today's halftime report brought to you by McDonald's, proud sponsor of USA Basketball.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our McDonald's Halftime Report. We will have a special look at the making of Dream Team 2, a behind-the-scenes peek at Shaq and his teammates, both on and off the court. But after this message from McDonald's, we'll be joined live by the mailman, Karl Malone, a member of the original Dream Team. As you can see, he's climbing out of his truck to add his thoughts on the Dream Team versus Dream Team 2 debate.
Get out those championship rings. Those MVP things. We're going to score a jillion points or more.
Because we're together now.
And you know what we're hungry for. I'm hungry for a McDonald's triple cheeseburger, extra value meal, supersize it. Just 39 cents more for more drink and more fries. And the Dream Team 2 cup when you supersize. Supersize any extra value meal
For a puny price.
After lunch, that world championship will taste nice. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
Welcome back. 2 years ago, the Utah Jazz's Karl Malone was the third leading scorer on the original Dream Team, which absolutely dominated the Barcelona Olympics, winning its games by an average of almost 44 points. Karl joins us now from his trucking company in Salt Lake City. He is not alone. He also has his daughters with him. That's Kylie and Katie.
Where's the camera?
Thanks for joining us, Karl. All right, Karl, let's set this debate to rest. There's not much debate about who will win this tournament, so a lot of people are debating the fact of Dream Team 2 versus your Dream Team. Now, let me give you two scenarios. First, if Dream Team 2 met you guys in your prime, that is, the team that was in Barcelona, what would happen?
Well, I don't really think it's a matter of meeting us in our prime at all. I think that you're talking hand on now about a guy with a great deal of pride, and I think if a guy's got a lot of pride, I think they're still going to win or go out and try to win. So we give the young guy their credit, but I don't think we washed up at all, you know. So I would go with Dream Team 1 without a doubt.
And suppose you two teams met this week, even with Larry Bird's bad back and Michael retiring. Actually, Michael said he would come out of retirement to meet this team. What sort of chances would you give him? The same?
Well, I'll tell you what, if it was ever a team that was assembled to play Dream Team 2, I would without a doubt want to be on that team. So if it happened like that, I would love to play against Dream Team 2 because without a doubt, I think we would win. And I'm not trying to get the ratings up, but it's just the way I feel. And I respect these guys for what they're doing because they're young guys. But I think what you have to realize, too, is all of us are USA, and we're trying to win a gold medal. So my best wishes are for those guys to win the gold, because they are going to be on a microscope to beat people by 50. But then, when it comes down to us and them, we just want to win.
Does it irritate you at all to hear guys like Reggie Miller and Shaquille O'Neal and Derek Coleman say that, hey, we're the young guys, we would beat them, no problem?
Well, I think that's what, as an older player, you want young guys to say that. So if that's what they think, that's what they think. But I think it'll be great if we could play Dream Team 2 and let the money go to charity. I think it'll be an unbelievable rating for sure. But I like older guys because wherever there's an older guy, he always don't teach the young guy everything he knows. So we got some old guys, so we got some stuff that we've saved up over the past.
Karl, and we're looking at some footage of you now with your gold medal on. In retrospect, what did that mean to you?
Well, I really had nothing to compare it to for his basketball because it's one thing to play for the town or the city that you're in, but then it's another thing to play for the whole country. When you have the USA on, whether you're in the military or police department or anything, when you play the national anthem, that tops it all. So I can't really compare it to anything. And even if I won an NBA championship, I probably couldn't either.
But Karl, when you go into something that's such a foregone conclusion, a lopsided competition, which is something that you don't usually see in sport, how tough is it to get motivated, as you guys were during the Olympics and as these guys are in the World Championships?
Well, I think in everything that you do in life, you have to have some kind of motivation behind you to do as good as you can do. And I think the thing about it is where people are saying that even when Dream Team 2 barely beat the team they played in, you got to forgive me for being crazy. I haven't watched any of the games. So when they beat the team barely, you know, everybody was talking, God, you know, these guys beat them by this many. But it was a first game jitters, and I understand that. But now everybody expecting them to win by 50, and that's what they got to do. And those are kind of pressures, if nothing else, that you have to do as a player to get motivated, because it's easy with the talent that the USA have to go out and go through the motions, but people are looking for perfection, because we do feel we're the best athletes in the world.
All right, Carl, thanks for joining us, and seeing as you have not watched any of the games, I'm sure you'll stick around and watch the second half of this one.
I gotta go. But I wish them good luck, though.
All right, Carl. After these messages from your local station, we will have an inside look at how Don Nelson turned a group of stars into Dream Team 2.
Hi, I'm Martin Short, and you know, I love sporting events. Not just because of the sports, but because of the food you get to eat, like hot dogs and hamburgers, and of course my favorite, the slushy. You know, interesting story.
Freeze! Martin Short is coming to NBC Tuesdays this fall.
Way too cold.
If you've been watching News 8, when wildfires scorched countless acres,
we begin our live coverage this evening in Leavenworth.
The Northwest looked to News 8.
Well, bump it up.
With expert analysis.
The rain doesn't hit the ground, but the lightning does, and it could start some fires.
And team reporting you can count on. And coming up Monday on News 8, summer can turn dangerous for kids. But an Oregon law may help stop the hurting. What is it? Find out Monday on News 8 at 5.
There are a couple of very good reasons to buy a Ford Taurus instead of a Toyota Camry. For starters, Taurus is the #1 selling car in America.
And it comes with automatic transmission, V6 power, air conditioning, and dual airbags standard.
Priced $2,600 less than a comparably equipped Camry, the Ford Taurus comes with a much more distinguished hood ornament. Buy one today at your local Northwest Ford dealer.
Syncoil presents sound proof on why you should be running the world's best motor oil in your engine. Syncoil, the world's best motor oil. Available at Chuck's and G.I. Joe's.
An intimate look at a legal superstar. Watch Inside Edition.
The McDonald's halftime report, Dream Team 2 up by only 12 points over Brazil at the half. Now, during the training camp and pre-tournament games, we were given behind-the-scenes access to the on- and off-court action as Dream Team 2 put it all together.
This is wild. Very wild.
1, 2, 3. It's so hot in here. It's just hot. Put it that way. Start a little faster. Bring him back a little bit. Okay, you have a 10-minute halftime. Push him to his weak hand. If you guys would have done that, you'd had an easier time against each other. All right, let's go. Push, push, push. Hold it. You got to be more alert than that. Anytime you come to a handoff, it's a switch. Anytime you come to an exchange, talk.
It is amazing the Michigan flavor, isn't it?
Yeah, we have some Michigan guys here. We represent that state well.
I think you won't realize what's going on right now until it's all over. You sit back and be like, wow, you know, I was a part of that.
We're only going to run 3 plays, but we'll run them very well.
90 million man over here, $100 million man over there.
Sir.
You can actually come behind that guy and bother a shot, which a lot of you guys like to do anyway. It's not a bad technique, especially with 3 being so short.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey, good solid defense now. Everybody play together. 1, 2, 3, go!
We've
tired of beating up on each other. And it was great to see somebody else beat up on somebody else for a while. I think she loves me.
I want to hustle. I want to beat this team as badly as we can beat them. Everybody as badly as we could possibly beat them.
They're coming in on you. You're content to kind of lay back instead of going for it. Go for it.
Take him to the rack.
Currently, the USA leads Brazil 48-36. That's all from the McDonald's Halftime Report. Time now to send it back to Marv, Matt, and Ahmad at Cops Coliseum in Ontario.
Today's Halftime Report has been brought to you by McDonald's, proud sponsor of USA Basketball.
It is a 12-point lead at halftime here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. United States with the edge as we head to the second half. Back with the halftime statistics in a moment.
What is cool? Does who you hang with make you cool? Yo, B, check me out. I'm funky. Maybe not. Hey, wait. These dudes are cool. Whoa, bro, I'm totally cool. Nah, maybe going prep is cool.
Hey, Buffy.
Now that is not cool. If I was like this guy, then I'd be cool. I need a cold drink. What should I drink?
Give your brain a rest. Obey your thirst. Sprite.
Who should I drink it with?
We're going to Paris. First, Francois has to get our shipment. Love the designs, and then we're going to Paris.
Where is my package?
We're going to Paris. We are.
FedEx can confirm delivery of international packages as quickly over there as it can over here.
Francois, see Bardin signed for that shipment at 9:22.
Pardon, come to Paris?
Paris? Possibly. Let me check my schedule.
Of course.
I had this dream. Everybody had on the new BK diamond cell. And that made them all as good as me. The BKs made them tougher, lighter, meaner.
They're all as good as you, Derek.
Then it hit me. I'm the only pro in diamond cells. What do I gotta be afraid of?
Question, would you leave 10 grand laying around? No, I don't think so. And with a case of Miller beer being worth 10 grand, you'll protect it. Or find something that will. Look for numbers inside specially marked cases of Miller beer. Match and win daily in USA Today and Sports Illustrated. 10 grand and the cold one can make anywhere a very cool place.
Welcome back to the Cops Coliseum in Hamilton. Marv Albert, Matt Gukas, and Ahmad Rashad. United States with a 12-point lead. Good run by Brazil at the end of that first half, Matt. And I would think that the Brazilians have to be pleased that they've been able to hang around once again in this first half.
Well, only a 12-point lead for the USA, largely because they shot 52% because they were getting a lot of fast break baskets, but did not shoot well at all from beyond the arc. Only 1 for 9 there, and just 3 for 9 from the free throw line for the USA. Otherwise, they'd have a much bigger lead.
All right, let's check out the halftime statistics. You mentioned the good shooting by the United States. Brazil, 15 of 37, 41%. The U.S., 22 of 42. Led by Shaquille O'Neal, 7 of 8 from the field, 14 points. And for the tournament over the first 3 games, he's 22 of 28. He has been an unstoppable force. Off the boards, United States with the edge, 28-18. And Alonzo Mourning, who started the game. And then Shaquille came off the bench. Mourning with 4 rebounds and 6 points. late in the first half, we saw Shaquille head back to the locker room, apparently re-injuring his back. For more on that, let's go to Ahmad.
All right, Marv, when he did go back into the locker room, all he had was a tightening of the back muscles. He went back, and our trainer, Ron Cope, gave him a massage, put some heat on it, and said that the stiffening is gone, and he should be available in the second half. Marv?
All right, Ahmad, 12-point lead for the United States. Brazil has won this tournament on 2 occasions, in 1959 and 1963. The United States last won this World Championship tournament in 1986 when it was held in Spain. And apparently they are working on one of the baskets, so we have a slight delay, and we'll step away. We'll be back after these words from your local station.
Tonight, meet the man who doesn't need any mask. Ernest.
I'm just that kind of guy.
Because this guy does it the all-natural way.
I recommend the lobster.
You don't have to go to any theater.
Is this the way you treat your mother?
Just be home tonight. The network premiere, Ernest Goes to Jail on NBC.
Hey, yo.
America is watching.
The reporters on Inside Edition are fearless.
They're tough. I mean, they get in there and they get the story done.
They also try and protect us with their investigative stories.
I think they're very good at what they do, catching the bad guy.
I love that. I absolutely love it.
It goes deeper.
They get the truth.
They do their homework. That's why I like it.
I think they've got a lot of guts.
See why America is watching Inside Edition. Monday night at 7.
News 8 keeps you up to date at 6 a.m., 12 noon, 5 p.m., and 11 p.m. And now, every hour in between. News on the hour. News 8 will be there with what's coming up and what's going on in your world. News on the hour. Keeping our promise to bring you more news than any other local station. More stories, more live coverage, more in-depth investigation. News on the hour. News 8.
The trucks used by officials of the Rose Festival are arriving at your GMC truck dealers, and they can pass on discounts to you. Barely driven Club Coupe Sierras with more V8 horsepower, higher ground clearance, and lower step-in height. A Consumer's Digest Best Buy, and even a better buy with factory discounts. The GMC Safaris are great for the whole family and summer fun. Loaded with options to fit your driving and recreational needs. See your Northwest GMC truck team members for great deals on GMC trucks used during the Rose Festival. Good deals from good dealers.
Coverage you can count on. News 8.
Well, the delay continues as we try to get the second half underway. They are restrinking the net. It's a 48-36 lead for the United States as we head to the second half, so we will have a momentary delay. And in the interim, let's get back to Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad?
All right, thanks a lot, Marv. I am joined now by Isaiah Thomas, one of the greatest players to have ever played in the NBA, who is now one of the greatest players to ever sit and watch the Dream Team play. Isaiah, you're now part owner here of this team. You got to be excited about that, of the team here in Toronto.
Oh, we're very excited about having a team here in Toronto. As you can see, the fan support is great. Walking around the city, we're selling a lot of T-shirts, hats, and everybody's really excited and waiting for the product to come out on the court.
How about you? You have a lot of mixed emotion. I know you really wanted to end your career playing here with the Dream Team. It's got to be a tough situation for you.
Well, it would have been a nice way to end, but it's kind of the best way to end right now, because not only do I get to host the Dream Team, I also get to participate and be on the bench, kind of like the 12th man. And Chuck Nevitt, who's a good friend of mine who used to be with the Pistons, I understand what type of job he had right now, because being the 12th man like M.L. Carr was is the greatest job in the world.
Yeah, but see, you also get a chance now to do a little scouting here, because maybe if one of these Dream Team people become available, they may be future Raptors.
Well, I don't look at it that way. I look at it as I'm getting a chance to enjoy being a part of Dream Team, getting a chance to hang out with the guys. So I don't necessarily look at them as, prospects for all teams when they're free agents. But I am getting a chance to scout some of the other European teams, look at their talent, and also get a good understanding of how some of the coaches here on Dream Team works in terms of Don Nelson, Don Chaney, Rick Majoris, Pete Gillett, guys who, may be
potential coaches for the Raptors one day.
Now, in terms of priorities, you will be one of the people in charge of bringing players here. What are your priorities in getting this team off the ground?
The first priority is to make sure that we evaluate the scouts properly, get scouts in here so we can evaluate players. The first thing we want to do is get a good handle on what was happening this summer, because in the dispersal draft, you get to pick from 8 through 12. And the only time that you're really going to have a chance to look at those players is during the summer, because once the season starts, you won't get a chance to really see them because they're the 9 through 12 guys on the bench. So we want to get a good understanding of what those players could do in the summer, and then we have to prepare for a dispersal draft and a college draft. So right now we're in preparation for college draft.
All right, we as fans will certainly miss watching you play, but we certainly wish you the best in your new career, man.
Thank you very much. And the NBA is fantastic.
All right, back to you, Marv.
The man is a walking promo. Isaiah Thomas, Vice President of Basketball Operations for the new Toronto Raptors, who will start play in the 95-96 season. Future Hall of Famer, and as Ahmad mentioned, Isaiah not competing because of an Achilles injury, although he is a member of the U.S. team. So we're just about set for the start of play in the second half. United States led by Shaquille O'Neal, 7 of 8 from the field, 14 points, 9 rebounds. Eric Coleman with 5 points in only 3 minutes of play. The other NBA expansion team, Vancouver, headed up by Stu Jackson, one-time coach of the New York Knicks, and the backers of Wisconsin will announce a nickname and the colors for the new Vancouver team sometime next weekend. Second half is underway. De Sousa off the drive, took the push, and a foul is called. Foul on Price. Don Nelson starting out with the team that opened up a revamped lineup being used by Nelson with Dan Marley and Mark Price in the backcourt. Larry Johnson, Alonzo Mourning, Dominique Wilkins up front. Here's De Sousa, way off. Just got a piece on the glass.
Kind of a confusing shot there with 28 seconds on the shot clock. Much of the time, Brazil early in the ball game came out and used up a lot of clock before taking the shot. They want to be very disciplined with their offense and not get in an up and down kind of game with the USA. In past years, Brazil liked to get out and go, especially when they had the high-scoring Oscar Schmidt.
Mourning with a nice pass inside. Able to find his Charlotte Hornet teammate, Larry Johnson. The United States 50 and Brazil 36. And Brazil has started Rolando Ferreira, who had the surprising first half, 11 points to lead the Brazilians in scoring. He's opening at center against Alonzo Mourning. Nice move by Villas-Boas, who's playing with 3 personal fouls. 9 points for Paulo Villas-Boas. He's been the high scorer for Brazil. Wilkins and Dominique having a very difficult time. The tip by Johnson. Dominique Wilkins is now 0 for 7 from the field.
And Dominique just does not look sharp, unable to get any kind of balance, has not looked good on any of his shots. He played very well in the second game against China the other night, but getting a start here tonight has looked very sluggish.
It is now Dominique Wilkins of the Boston Celtics. In fact, his new boss, general manager M.L. Carr, is on hand here this afternoon. Ferrara to the driving hook. Hey, what's going on here, man?
Orlando is getting rewarded with a second half start after a terrific first half where he kind of played even up against Shaquille O'Neal, except running the other way. Just could not keep up with Shaq.
8 points, rather 9 points for Mark Price as he hits his first 3. United States leads by 15. 2.5 gone by, second half.
The Brazilian team kind of lulls you to sleep a little bit with this kind of 4 corners offense. They run a little weave just to chew up a little clock, and then before they get into some kind of an offensive play.
Villas-Boas try to go left, and then a forced shot over Marley. Mourning on the save. Villas-Boas claiming that there should have been a traveling violation. Price dishes for Johnson. Larry Johnson from Mark Price. Larry Johnson, 6 of 8. He has 12 points. And the hacking foul called on Price. That will send Manucci to the line.
Well, Larry Johnson runs the middle of the floor. He has a big, wide body. Price sees them all the way and finds that little seam and the dish. And when you got a guy like Larry Johnson running the middle of the floor and wing players like Dominique Wilkins and Marley out who can shoot the three-point shot and run wide on the break, it enables that kind of little intermediate pass from Price to Johnson.
Larry Johnson, like his teammate Alonzo Mourning, looking to make it back from an injury-hit season. Last year, Johnson missed 31 games in all, affected by injury. Here's Mourning on the hesitation. Yes, and it counts. Alonzo going glass. He's now 4 for 4, and he'll head to the line.
And this is where Alonzo Mourning often sets up for the Charlotte Hornets in their passing game and in their quick transition. He's the trailer on the play, catches up top. If he doesn't swing the ball, he's got that option to drive the ball to the basket. Most of the time, he'll go to his right hand, as he did there. But I saw signs last year of improvement taking the ball to the left. However, he missed much of the season with injuries as well, which kept the Charlotte Hornets from making the playoffs.
18-point lead for the United States. Matt, as I think back to the performance of the Dream Team in Barcelona, nice touch shown by Viana. That's a three-point play. The center position was not a factor at all. David Robinson and Patrick Ewing not able to get into it in that situation. But here, Shaquille O'Neal and Alonzo Mourning are dominating in this competition.
Well, both of them are running very hard, which is enabling them to get some fast break baskets. And, of course, they are anticipating the missed shots from their teammates, and a lot of three-pointers are going up, and they're just able to overpower the opponent inside and get offensive boards.
He has the good touch. Paulo Villalobos, who's hanging in despite the three personals. Dominique Wilkins with his first field goal. 4 minutes in. Second half, and the United States is up by 14 points. U.S. shooting better than 50% for the game. They seek to make it a record of 3-0. They will play again on Tuesday. That'll be Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. And they'll go up against Australia. On the turnover, the U.S. will get it back. We'll be back in a moment.
Snow was falling on the ground. What did I do? I went out and shoveled the snow. Made me a path on the basketball court. Had my mittens on, I'm shooting. Oh, it's raining outside. Huh? Raining?
Put on a coat.
So what? The door was shut in your face sometimes, but you still keep going. You still keep going.
NBA Hoops basketball cards from Skybox. When you dream it, see it, go after it.
Wherever you are this summer could be a very cool place with Miller's 10 grand a day giveaway. We've got a lot to unload. That's $10,000 a day every day. Look for numbers inside specially marked cases of Miller beer. Match and win daily in USA Today and Sports Illustrated. A lot of cash, a lot of winners. Can your beer do this?
1 minute, I'm telling myself to buy the best stuff. Next minute, to save money. Buy the best, save money. Buy the best, save money. Save money. The best, save money. Save money. I'm beginning to get on my nerves.
Why compromise when there's the affordable ThinkPad 360 from IBM?
My next computer is going to be incredibly powerful. I mean, I want to hear Hail to the Chief every time I turn it on.
Introducing the powerful Value Point Performance Series from IBM.
Next Saturday, NFL football is back on NBC. Don't miss great gridiron action live from Berlin when running back Rodney Hampton and the New York Giants take on Junior Seau and the hard-hitting San Diego Chargers. Great preseason football action heats up next Saturday on NBC.
A rough one to this point for the new Boston Celtic. Dominique Wilkins only 1 of 8. 3 points at all. Dominique not getting the playing time until today. He was in the starting lineup. We asked why the limited playing time. We talked about it with Coach Don Nelson.
Pretty simple with Dominique. He didn't get a chance to play coming into this. There are a lot of guys that really worked hard and were in great shape. And Dominique was a free agent and didn't have a chance to play basketball because, if you don't have a contract, you get injured, you could be out of a job. It could cost you millions of dollars. And I understand that. And he went into training camp, and he was behind. And he's still behind physically, I feel. It's just that other guys have played very well and have moved ahead of him. He's a great, great player.
Well, as I said in the first half, Nelly has had the biggest problems with trying to decide who's going to be the 11th and 12th men in each given game, and it looks like he's probably going to mix up the starting lineups the rest of the week, but he wants to get everybody involved, keep everybody with their head up, because they're still developing as a team, and Nelly sees room for lots of improvement. There's a lot of talent out there, but there's so much more to becoming a basketball team than just putting a conglomeration of talented players together. There's so many different roles that have to be fulfilled, and you're asking star players, many cases, to do things that they don't normally have to do with their particular team.
Nice give and go, and D'Souza drew the foul. Chuck Daly, the coach of Dream Team 1, a master at juggling the playing time. Although what made it a bit easier for Chuck was the fact that there were a couple of injuries that took place. Larry Bird, for all intents and purposes, was not available, and John Stockton was hurt, so it allowed him to manipulate with Michael Jordan at the point guard position.
Yes, unfortunately for Chuck, he had to put Michael at the point. He just did everything. Of course, Scottie Pippen handled the ball quite a bit. Actually, I thought Charles Barkley was probably the best player throughout that whole Olympics.
Here's Price from deep for three. Rebound through the hands of Wilkins. Off the save, Johnson had it poked away. Larry Johnson able to recover. 5.5 gone by. Second half. United States with the ball up by 14 points. Marley for three. And the United States struggling from downtown. Nice look. Morning on the follow. 11 points for Morning. U.S. up 66 to 50. Back to the player rotation of Don Nelson. It's apparent this afternoon his 11th and 12th men are Derek Coleman and Steve Smith.
Well, Steve Smith has been at the bottom of the bench, although he got an early call in the game the other night against China midway through the first half, late in the first half, and he really was a catalyst. Started the defensive flurry and really got the crowd going.
Dominic Wilkins with his second field goal, and the U.S. opens up an 18-point lead. A crowd of 15,732 here in Hamilton. This is opening round action of the World Championship of Basketball. The scene will shift to Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, and then to the Sky Dome. Ferrara has been on fire. 15 points on 7 of 11 shooting for Rolando Ferrara. Here's Johnson. Viana gets it down. And Minucci slows it up. D'Souza, played by Price. Joa Viana.
Mr. Popcorn,
yes,
he started the ball game with that perimeter jump shot. Doesn't normally take that. He normally operates around the basket.
The break led by Villalobos. Tried the ball fake and drew the foul. It's on Johnson.
There, Dan Marley with a little penetration, finds Alonzo Mourning, misses the first, but stays right with it, as he has done such a terrific job on the offensive board. And then Mark Price keeping his head up on the fast break as Larry Johnson. Normally, well, I thought that was the play with Larry Johnson, but it's Dominique filling the right wing, as Dominique has struggled offensively, had to feel good to get an easy one.
Now Dominique Wilkins sits down. It's 2 of 11 from the field. Points for Villalobos. He says his greatest moment in basketball took place when Brazil defeated the United States for the gold medal at the 1987 Pan American Games in Indianapolis. Kevin Johnson, Reggie Miller have checked back in. Dan Marley now up front with Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning. Here's Miller for three. Rebounded by Ferrara. The U.S. 2 of 14 from three-point land. 12.5 remaining in the game. 14-point lead for the United States.
And most of these three-point shots, and don't forget, the line is 3 feet closer than in the NBA, but They look like all of the shots have been short, and the USA team looks like they have tired legs right now. They're kind of in the middle of the tournament, and they're going to need something to get a little bit more life going, and they start feeling a little bit good, get their legs underneath them.
Bad shot by Villalobos, and a jump ball is called. Well, an international play, as you mentioned, it's a difference of 3 feet 2 inches, 23.9 in the NBA. And under international rules, 20 feet 6. And also, as we discussed earlier, the ball is slightly larger.
And larger, and we can't figure out yet if it's heavier or lighter. We got 2 different reports, one from Dan Marley and one from Reggie Miller. The seams definitely are different, not at all like the NBA ball, where you get a real good grip on it.
Johnson for Morning. So Alonso, 6 of 7 from the field, 13 points in all, 70-54. The U.S. on top. Joe Dumars now in the backcourt, along with Kevin Johnson. Sean Kemp has returned.
Typical Brazil strategy, dribble around or weave, just use up about 10, 12 seconds, and then start to look for some kind of a shot, generally a bad forced one like that.
Shot clock had run down to 5. Kemp tried to dribble through and lost it. It's Ferrara. Brazil takes advantage off the steal. Rolando Ferrara with 17 points. Miller got it in. And that will count. It's a goal. Dan Morning receives credit for the field goal.
A little earlier, Ferrara took one off the rim by Larry Johnson. This one is off the rim as well, which is allowed in international play, but it's the shot on the way down, as Ferrara got it simultaneously on the way down and on the rim.
Timeout called with 11:02 remaining.
I had everybody come in on Saturday, and guess what? The server was down again. We couldn't do anything. I just want one that works.
Introducing the PC server. IBM reliability, now for small business.
I want to be covered for 94,608,000 seconds. Give or take a sec.
Introducing the Value Point Performance Series 3-year warranty from IBM.
Welcome to Hoop Hijinks with today's contestant, Anthony Hardaway. And he will be wearing the new Nike Air Pounds as he attempts to win these new Nike Air Flight 55s with a layup.
Cool.
Good luck and watch out for those sharks.
Sharks.
Nice shot, but I'm afraid you can only get these shoes at Foot Locker. Just watch out for those stampeding bulls.
Stampeding bulls?
The new Nike shoes. If you don't win them here, you can get them at Foot Locker.
When I get thirsty, I reach for Coke and I drink. I get thirsty, I reach for Coke and I drink. When I'm thirsty, I
The 1994 World Championship of Basketball is brought to you by Coca-Cola Classic. Always jammin', always Coca-Cola. By FedEx. For documents, packages, and freight worldwide, our most important package is yours. By Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth. And by IBM. There's never been a better time to do business with IBM.
The road to the World Championship, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Always jammin', always Coca-Cola.
As we head to the quarterfinal round, there are 3 undefeated teams: United States, Croatia, and Russia, all at 3-0. Croatia, led by Tony Kukoc and Dino Radja. A look at the teams that are headed to the quarterfinal round. They'll pick it up this week at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. The upcoming schedule for the U.S., they have Australia, Puerto Rico, and Russia ahead. Tuesday, they face Australia. Just under 11 minutes remaining in the game. Miller off the steal. It's a 3-on. Dumars extends to a 74-56 lead.
And it all started on the terrific defensive pressure by Reggie Miller, pressing the ball all the way up the floor, kept getting his man to turn his head on the dribble, finally knocked it loose and started that fast break.
Viana, played by Kemp. Viana couldn't handle the pass and then recovered. Shot clock running down, and the foul is called on Dumars. That'll send Villalobos to the line.
Here's Reggie Miller hounding his man and coming up with that loose ball, getting it to Joe Dumars, who's got his head up all the way, communicating with his teammates, and finds the Rain Man running hard on the right wing. Here it is again, as Sean Kemp, every opportunity he has in the open floor, finishes it like this.
And the crowd reacts as Shaquille O'Neal checks in for the first time this second half. He had a terrific first half, then hurt his back, went to the locker room early, and apparently is all right. Shaquille 7 of 8, 14 points in the first half. 3 free throws here for Villalobos, who was fouled in the act of attempting a 3-point shot. Do you like this rule?
No, I do not. But there's some speculation that the NBA may go to this. They also may and are thinking about possibly using the international three-point line, or at least bringing it in, because they're concerned about the lack of scoring that they've had and the trend that's been going on over the last 4 or 5 years, and also thinking about the trapezoid lane. A lot of discussion the rest of the summer.
I love when you say trapezoid. There it is again.
The biggest word I know here in Toronto.
Dumars draws the foul. Sean Kemp on the offensive board. Foul on Dos Santos. Recapping in the opening game Thursday night for the United States. U.S. by 15 in a uneven performance. Joe Dumars, 21 points. Reggie Miller had 20, and the United States received some criticism because they were not able to blow out Spain. And then on Friday night, the 132-77 romp over China. Shaquille with 10 of 11. United States had its way. Reggie Miller had 15 points in 26 minutes. Dominique Wilkins, 7 of 11 on Friday night, 15 points. Alonzo Mourning, 13 points in 16 minutes. 9:40 remaining in this one here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Viana shooting. On the back tap, Dumars gets to it and has Johnson. Kevin looking to give it up and then decided to lay it home.
Well, the USA, every time that long jump shot is taken, somebody or somebodies will release, and the USA is already attuned to looking up. That's the Don Nelson style of fast break basketball, and they utilize it so well in Golden State, in particular Chris Mullin.
Azevedo, played by Miller. 5 on the 30-second clock. Nice move off the dribble. Got the step on Miller. Here comes Kemp. He has Dumars on the wing. Kemp tried to go all the way and was held. Looked like De Sousa reaching in.
Well, here's the jump shot taken by Viana. And watch Kevin Johnson. He is going to fly long here. And on that rebound, he is going to get the long pass. He's looking to make an extra pass after he gets it from Dumars, looking for Sean Kemp, but can't make it, so he just lays it up nice and easy.
Well, that last foul called on Villalobos, his 4th timeout call. We'll be right back.
This is an apple. That's an orange. This is round. That's square. Here's my point. MCI keeps advertising
Cats?
how people get big savings by switching from AT&T.
Dogs.
But did you notice how they're comparing their big discount plans
Apples.
against AT&T rates with no discount?
Oranges.
Come on! Why doesn't MCI give you straight, easy-to-compare information?
Well, then they wouldn't have much to talk about.
Your true voice. You want me to do something healthy for a whole week?
Yeah, have breakfast with grape nuts. Just one little box.
I just don't know. Doing something healthy is not easy. I was very surprised. Yeah, it was easy. On the box, it tells me it's natural, looks like it's going to be healthy, and you're surprised when it tastes good. With my 2-year-old son, A lot of times I have to leave my bowl with grape nuts. I'd come back and it's still crunchy. Have you had a 2-year-old?
Grape nuts. See what one little box can do for you.
I'm eating breakfast, healthy, and it's easy.
Okay, guys, baseball or bass fishing?
Baseball.
Bass fishing. Hey, guys, watch this.
Miller Lite presents professional baseball. Watson calls for a fresh bass. There's the windup and the fish. It's a high fly bass. Brought to you by Miller Lite. If you can combine great taste and less filling, you can combine anything. Here comes the play at the plate. You're out. He caught the bass. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this? Whoa.
Monday, Will's bribing his teacher to get good grades.
Behold, my Dictionary.
One problem. Teach wants Hillary.
Well, duh.
The Fresh Prince, NBC Monday.
The AFC Air Force, Montana, Marino, Elway, Kelly. The NFL on NBC. Nothing's more American.
Reminder, we'll be with you next Sunday. The World Championship of Basketball title game. And that will take place at the Sky Dome in downtown Toronto. Airtime at 4 o'clock Eastern. That is next Sunday, the World Championship of Basketball. Marv Albert, Matt Gukas, and Ahmad Rashad from Copps Coliseum in Hamilton, located some 45 miles west of Toronto. The United States free throw shooting very poor. 5 for 14. Kemp 1 for 6 from the line today. 8:45 remaining in the game. And the United States has an 18-point lead. De Sousa on the weave for Minucci. The Azevedo. And again, the slow-down tactics being seen, despite the fact we're looking at an 18-point deficit.
Now the USA guards out on the perimeter there trying to switch on some of the plays. Had a little miscommunication early in the shot clock, and that's one of the rare 30-second violations that you'll see. But most of the USA players not used to switching like that, but of course that is a Golden State Don Nelson trademark.
Shaquille O'Neal nearly ripped the basket down.
And Marv, you specifically begged Shaquille not to even think about pulling this basket down today. But in this particular case, he had other ideas, I'm sure, as he wanted to hammer this thing down hard. And folks, keep in mind, he's doing this with a very, very sore back as well.
Well, in our little chat with Shaquille yesterday, I just suggested that it would be appreciated if he kind of let up on the basket, because you know, if it goes down, we're sitting here for 20 minutes, and it means we have to listen to a lot of Ahmad Rashad. And that could be devastating. We had that delay in Phoenix, you may recall, when Shaquille hauled the basket down. And he kind of agreed with us. So perhaps we may not have noted, but there was a bit of a let up there.
I'm sure the NBA being involved and know the capabilities of a Shaquille O'Neal situation have the backups, which in some cases they're not used to not be ready for it. I remember the Phoenix one vividly. That thing kind of came down in sections, and it was really, there was something faulty in the back of the basket standard, which messed up the hydraulic process, if you remember, Mark.
Yes, I do. That took place 2 seasons back in Phoenix. Nice touch by Minucci. He has 12 points.
I've got a trapezoid and a hydraulic.
Yes. Over the summer, and it's been a short summer. Sean Kemp with a beautiful spin, and the U.S. is up by 21. Our last NBA telecast was on the 22nd of June, some 46 days ago, when the Houston Rockets defeated the New York Knicks to win the NBA title. It's been a short summer, but you have been working with the thesaurus.
It seems like just yesterday.
10 points for De Sousa. And the U.S. now leads 82-63. A holding foul has been called.
Well, Sean Kemp has that ability to feel people, use a little, not a push-off, but just reaches out with his hand and finds a little daylight to get up in the air, and he has that soft touch. He normally will like to get up and power that thing down, forced to fade a little bit, but Sean Kemp has been a very impressive player here for the USA throughout the whole training period and the game.
And last foul on Minucci. Here's Kemp. 11 points for Kemp. Just under 7 minutes remaining in the game. United States 84, Brazil 63.
It was interesting. He was the subject of what could have been a very controversial trade between the Chicago Bulls. Scottie Pippen would have gone to the Seattle Supersonics for Sean Kemp and Ricky Pierce. That deal supposedly vetoed by the Seattle owner.
Ferrara with 19 points. Leg block. Called. The surprise of the day for Brazil, number 8, Rolando Ferrara, 7-footer. Spent the 88-89 season with the Portland Trailblazers, at one time thought to be a future star, no longer a major player with the national team, but perhaps garnering some attention here this afternoon. Shaquille O'Neal with a rare miss.
Well, anytime that ball goes inside to either Shaq or Kemp, and a missed shot is going to occur, one of those players is going to have an excellent offensive rebounding opportunity. The reason Kemp got it that time was Viana had fronted him on the other side before that little jump hook by Shaquille O'Neal, and that gave Kemp a wide open run to the basket.
And Ferrara shows us the hook shot. Rolando putting together a very nice highlight portfolio. U.S. up 86-67.
Well, there you saw Viana on the top side, on the back of Sean Kemp as Shaquille threw up that little jump hook, and that left nobody to get in front of Kemp and keep him off the basket as he gets the strong finish.
Was that Sean saying, "Take that, Mr. Popcorn"? I could swear I read that off his lips. Joe Viana, who is known he's 7 of 8, and he has this crowd going. 15 points for Sean Kemp.
Not only Mr. Popcorn, that time Mr. Ferreira and anybody else who may be down below. You better get out of there. You could get hurt.
Viana called Mr. Popcorn for his jumping ability. Minucci with 14. The crowd reacting as Steve Smith, who played only briefly in the first half, walks over to the scorer's table and gets set to check in. They were chanting for Steve Smith of the Miami Heat just moments ago. Here's Shaquille. Brazil looking for a traveling violation.
Everybody on the Brazil bench, all the coaches up asking for the travel. They're down by 21 points. And still looking for those calls. Actually, Shaq just pushed off Ferreira there, who can do nothing with the big fella inside. But Ferreira has had a nice offensive game himself, mainly because Shaq and Alonzo Mourning are just not paying that much attention to him.
There's Kemp from Miller. 92-69. The United States with the lead, and a timeout taken by Brazil.
Sean Kemp, so quick, so agile, and so explosive around the basket there, and able to finish with such strength.
Number 30 seconds of mayhem.
And the USA bench is, do you believe this guy? He has really been impressive to his teammates.
Gave us one price.
Put it on a Big Mac.
Take it down.
Wait a second. Maybe it goes in a quarter pounder with cheese.
Take it up.
Get your choice of McDonald's Big Mac, cheeseburger, quarter pounder with cheese, or McChicken extra value meal, each just $2.99.
What do you think?
Oh, that looks good. Do that.
What?
What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
At the time, Muggsy, a man of small stature, was to battle the giant named Goliath. Armed only with an incredible thirst to prove himself, Muggsy, fleet of foot, did circle and confuse Goliath, and thus slew the mighty giant. All the people celebrated. Sprite flowed freely, thus it was written, height is nothing, thirst is everything, obey your thirst.
Just down Sunset and up the incredible California coast is Wolfgang Puck's latest culinary creation, granita. It's a touch of the Mediterranean with a dash of the Pacific. And if you go there, bring your appetite for travel and your Visa card.
It's perfect.
Because Wolfgang's grilled prawns will take you to the Mediterranean, but granita won't take American Express.
I love to cook, and I love to eat even more.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
You've made many friends on Thursday night. Now meet Joey.
You need anything, you can always come to Joey. Me and Chandler live right across the hall. He's away a lot.
Joey, stop hitting on her. It's her wedding day.
What? Like there's a rule or something?
Friends, Thursdays this fall on NBC.
The 1994 World Championship of Basketball is brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this? By Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. By Sprite, image is nothing, thirst is everything. Obey your thirst. Sprite. And by McDonald's, what you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
And here in Canada, there are some who are saying that basketball has finally come home. Dr. James Naismith was born in Almonte, Ontario, owned a Canadian passport when he strung 2 peach baskets to a YMCA wall in Springfield, Massachusetts in 1891. And the game has certainly taken its place in Canadian pop culture. Canada hosting the World Championship of Basketball. 23 points for Rolando Ferreira. Just under 4 minutes to go on the game. It's the United States 92 and Brazil 71. The U.S. on its way to making it a record of 3-0 for the tournament. Brazil a disappointing 0-3 following today's play. And Shaquille O'Neal is fouled by Rolando Ferreira.
Shaq working on his ball handling this summer. Went back to LSU to take some courses. Already picked up 9 credits as an opportunity after this tournament to go back and get some more. But while he was down there in the afternoons playing with guys over at the LSU Fieldhouse, but also working on his game and working on his foul shot as the shooting instructor for the Orlando Magic. Fuzzy Brayman was going down there to further work on Shaquille's grip and release.
However, Shaquille is 1 for 3 this afternoon, and the United States has had a very difficult time at the line. Sean Kemp sitting down now, one of the stars for the United States, 11 of his 15 points in the second half, replaced by Steve Smith. Steve Smith and Derek Coleman seeing very limited action today. 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the game. Manucci for Fonseca, who just checked in. Rare miss for Ferreira, and Smith pulls away. O'Neal from Johnson. That's too easy. Shaquille 10 of 12, 22 points, along with 9 rebounds. 95-71 for the U.S.
Well, it's interesting that the Brazilian team is changing their philosophy from being a run-and-gun team with Oscar Schmidt and Marcel de Souza to becoming more defensive-oriented. They have not really looked that sharp defensively here. They've got a long way to go, and they also want to get into the conditioning and the weights and try to learn from the American teams. That, Marv, I remember playing against the Brazilian team back in college some 25, 30 years ago when the Brazilian team was outstanding. They beat us in Brazil. We had a good college team, and they had a unique thing in international basketball that anytime we had a fast break, and we got many of them, they would just kick a shoe off, and that would stop the fast break.
The old kick the shoe off.
Throw the shoe off and throw it into the stands, and the referee would stop the fast break. Look at Shaq, wide open, with his eyes can't get any wider. Is nobody around me, nobody can put a body on me, just throw it in here and I'll finish.
And that's a strategy that has not been brought into NBA competition, it should be pointed out. Kicking the shoe off to stop the fast break. Brazil is 13 of 14 from the foul line as you look at Paula Villalobos. And Villalobos with 19 points. He heads to the bench, replaced by Josio Jorge. So the Brazilians now emptying their bench in these final minutes. 22-point lead for the United States. Steve Smith, Joe Dumars, Kevin Johnson, Reggie Miller, and Shaquille O'Neal on the floor. Shaquille trying the outside touch. Don Nelson going with, in effect, 4 guards, although Steve Smith is 6'8". Andre Fonseca gets it out. Donacimento. Antonio Santana was held. Foul committed by Reggie Miller. High point men for the United States. Shaquille O'Neal with 22 points on 10 of 13. 15 apiece for Sean Kemp and Alonzo Mourning. Kemp put on a show in the second half. Overall 7 of 8 from the field. And Larry Johnson with 12 points.
Talking about the domination of the big men today by the United States centers and big forward Sean Kemp, and kind of the ineffectiveness of David Robinson and Patrick Ewing in the Olympics. Mainly, Mark, you remember, and you were there, that they seem to be in foul trouble a lot. Of course, there's only 5 fouls allowed in international basketball, and it seemed like those guys were always getting in kind of early foul trouble. One of them would have to go to the bench, and they kind of never got into any rhythm or any flow, it seemed to me, at least the time that I saw the game.
Miller hits the 3. Also, when they were out on the floor, they rarely seemed to get the ball in good position. It was guard-oriented. Here's Miller. Reggie Miller with 7 points, 100-73. The U.S. with a minute and 25 remaining. Open shot for Jorge. Josio Jorge did not play in the first 2 games for Brazil against Spain and China. Smith made the nice move, could not put it down. O'Neal does. Yes, and it counts. So Shaquille will go back to the line.
This is one of the areas where Shaq has really improved since his rookie year. Able to finish so strong as we watch the little reverse shot by Reggie Miller on the fast break play. Steve Smith coming up short there, but Shaquille O'Neal going to get hit and hacked hard here, but still able to finish that play and score. Actually, Shaq is getting bigger and stronger, if you can imagine that. He has built himself up even more up top, and his feet have gotten bigger. When he was a rookie, size 20, he is now wearing size 22 at 22 years of age.
And Shaquille able to hit the free throw for 3 points. Oh, good first step. The move by Carlos Donacimento. He's only 20 years old. He's one of the backup centers for Brazil. Kevin Johnson trying to work his way through. Down to a half minute remaining. It counts, and the foul. Andre Fonseca will go to the line. Foul on Smith. United States squad certainly enjoying the final minutes of this one. A little socializing here with a half minute to go. And a 103-80 lead. Open shot for Dumars for 3. This is Fonseca. His behind the back pass picked off by Dumars. Look out, here comes Shaquille. Yes, the game within the game for Shaquille O'Neal. In a playful conclusion. The basket counts. Santana hits the jump shot, and the crowd with a standing ovation. Shaquille O'Neal led the way. 27 points, also led the way in terms of entertainment as the United States defeats Brazil 105-82. All right, Matt, here's another look at it.
Well, Shaq failed to get back on defense, but he saved it all for this. The little flip off the glass, and the crowd loves it as Shaq able to play to them and asks for more.
Shaquille with his own version of the slam dunk competition. We'll be back in Hamilton.
The World Championship of Basketball continues next Sunday on NBC.
Oh, boss, meet Larry. He's new.
Say, Larry, hypothetical question. How would you send a big, important shipment to a big, important client in, say, Hong Kong?
FedEx?
Right. Say someone didn't use FedEx, and that big, important shipment never got there. What would you call that someone, Larry?
Dope.
Right. Dope.
Big or small around the world, next time use FedEx.
If I would have known you were the dope, I wouldn't.
Are you colder than I am? How is that?
Wait on me.
Hey, heads up, look out.
Wait a minute. Can you see anything yet?
Just a second, settle down. He's opening the refrigerator. Trust me, it's not a store brand. I can't see through you.
But you both off our place. It's, wait a minute. It's.
See? Come on,
Ounces, you guys! Definitely seconds!
There are places you can go where birds aren't the only ones that fly. And fish aren't the only ones underwater. Where you can take a ride in the wild, or just a wild ride. But if you go to any of the Busch Gardens or SeaWorld parks, bring your sense of adventure and your Visa card. Because every one of these parks will take your breath away, but none will take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
The USA Basketball Player of the Game, brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be.
As part of Visa's continuing effort to support amateur athletics, Visa proud to donate $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team in Shaquille O'Neal's name in order to help further the development of U.S. Olympians present and future. Shaquille with 27 points to lead the way. Rolando Ferrara, one-time Portland Trailblazer, led Brazil with 23. The U.S. with a 105-82 win. They go to 3-0. They play again Tuesday against Australia. Marv Albert, Matt Kukas, Ahmad Rashad saying so long from Cubs Coliseum in Hamilton.
In a new world, a new standard of excellence, NBC Sports.
Tonight, SeaQuest begins its two greatest adventures. First, mermaids.
I live in the sea.
And a madman. This is the new world. Oh, God. Guest starring Charlton Heston. And next Sunday,
We are not alone.
alien intruders invade the SeaQuest. Nominated for 3 Emmy Awards. SeaQuest, NBC Tonight.
If you've been watching News 8, when wildfires scorched countless acres,
We begin our live coverage this evening in Leavenworth.
the Northwest looked for you.
Thank you very much, New York. Welcome back to sunny Southern California. Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland. A stunning turn of events. Mike Dodd.